Introducing the new Smart Prepaid Only Call and Text 30 Plus. The best daily Only Call and Text offer, now loaded with more surfing than ever. Para more viewing, more sharing, and more searching. Only 30 pesos. Dial *121# now. Internet for all my fun.
Guys, may 300 MB tayo. Dami pang Facebook at Instagram.
Email and videos. Stock up on data with Smart Big Bytes from the country's most advanced network. May apps and sites up to 300 MB. 50 pesos lang for 3 days.
Hey guys!
May free YouTube pa and more. That's a lot of bytes of internet for all. Text Big 50 to 9999. Smart. Live more.
Guys, may 300 MB tayo.
Okay, so we're back, ladies and gentlemen, to the LCL 2015 Summer Term Group Stage Week 9. I am, of course, Bad Boy Asarai with the 9, and alongside here with me is...
Seatmate Riku.
Seatmate Riku.
Yes.
Alright, so we are now on to our game for the final match of the day between... Wait, I'm just telling our players to start the game. Between Victims of Love, that is from Central Philippine University, CPU, versus Puso Gaming, University of the Philippines, Cebu. Alright, so we have Victims of Love, ang nawagi sa pag-ibig, at ang pumupuso, ang nagsisimula palang umibig.
You know, we will see kung sino ang magwawagi. But right now, we are heading on to the drafting phase. Remember, guys, this is the 4th game of the LCL Summer Term Group Stage, Week 9. And yeah, an Echo ban.
Alright, so Echo coming into the 5.15 patch, he... Ano kasi, di ba nga guys, kung nakikita nyo yung mga Echoes ngayon na nag-jungle, they want to go in for that tanky Echo build.
Yes.
And yung power nito for the Echo is that you're able to just deal damage because ang taas na ng damage output ng Echo just from yung base damage lang. Wala pang AP ratios doon. And then, because naka-tank build siya, mahirap siya patayin. And then, you have your chrono break na you have a reset onto your HP.
Yun nga eh.
So parang napaka-OP ng ganong klaseng build. There's no outplay that's possible with Echo there because napaka-tanky niya na nga. And ang ginawa dito ng Riot is they made his AP ratios higher, meaning that he benefits from AP items, and his base damage lower, meaning that yung tank Echo is possible, but the damage output is negated na lang. I'll just say it like that.
Yeah.
Right.
That's true. Nar Azir, pretty standard bans coming in from UPC.
As well as the
Victor, no?
Yes.
They don't want to see any of those right now.
Honestly, for the fourth game, I really want to see a Gangplank in the top lane.
Mag-Gangplank kayo guys, sabi ni Bad Boy Asarai.
Yeah, kasi I don't know, it's possible like yung kanyang role would be similar to what a Irelia can do. Not in the sense that you can do it in the backline, but like you have a bruiser top laner that can carry you when he gets the items.
Actually, hindi naman talaga nagbago yung build niya. Kasi before the rework, gano'n naman talaga, you build a Gangplank tanky, right?
You can say
I
that.
can see a lot. Yung mga nakakasama ko kasi na Gangplank, binibuild nila ng tank. Parang one damage item and then after they
Oh
go
yeah,
tanky.
I think depending on the matchups, I don't know, experience from solo queue, it's depending on the matchups. Like you can go for a full, the crit blank, which is so popular in our, in our meta, or rather in our scene right now in the Philippines. Now you could go in for like an immediate Infinity Edge, Trinity Force, Phantom Dancer, and just hope that you're parlay with one crit bonus. But ano eh, like you've said, going in for that tank Gangplank, tank plank. not entirely tank plank na lang siguro, like more of a bruiser bruise plank.
Bruise plank, right.
Yeah, yung ginagawa kasing build done, yes, I know that Trinity Force is more beneficial for a Gangplank, but sometimes Iceborne Gauntlets is not so bad.
They're not so bad. It's like another build path for him.
Yeah, especially yung Iceborne Spirit Visage, sobrang bilis mo makakuha ng cooldowns for your remove Scurvy, your Powder Kegs, even your Parlay. And I don't know, it's just a thing I do. When you put down a keg and you have an Iceborne Gauntlet, nag-activate yung passive mo, yung Sheen proc nun.
So meron na icy surface.
Yeah, you can hit the creeps and then
creeps,
yeah, tapos
then magkakaroon ng slow.
magkakaroon ng so, but yung AoE damage nila, and then when you're able to do something like that, pagka-activate mo ng kegs, it's almost always a one hit. I'm just saying this na naman, parang easier to farm your Silver Serpents on a Gangplank with that kind of combo.
To up
yeah.
upgrade.
Pagka-power the keg mo, you have the one sheep proc onto your Iceborne God, that's one auto attack on the creeps, AoE damage, and then parlay onto the powder kegs, and then I think in the higher ranks, one hit na yun.
Pero yeah, we see the top lane already for CPU. So, sorry, ngayon, ang soap mo na lang is the UPC. Malay mo, top lane, Nautilus. Pero yeah, we will see later. Although, a hover onto the Fiddlesticks. Okay, not a hover anymore. Linlock niya talaga. Bihira ko na makita ang Fiddlesticks.
That's gonna be a jungle Fiddlesticks. Most probably, or rather jungle to like support Fiddlesticks, gonna help that Caitlyn in the bottom lane against the Alistar support. Severe is open right now.
Sobrang lambot ng bottom lane if ever.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. Okay.
Yeah, so Twisted Fate. Severe, I don't know if that's gonna be okay, wait.
Yeah, they don't have an AD carry yet.
Not yet. Alright, so let's just talk about yung bottom lane na lang for UPC here and CPU.
Yeah, UPC and CPU, the Puso and Victims of Love.
Magkalaman na nga sila sa pag-ibig. Baliktad pa yung lettering nila.
Oo nga, no?
Wala akong answer dito. Natuwa lang ako sa
yeah.
Alright, so yung parang, I think the strength that we could actually see for UPC right now against the bottom lane is that the fear is possible on the Alistar, so you can stop his combo. Pagka-headbutt niya in, you can stop the pulverize, so at least parang you'll be in a safer range. Parang matutulak ka lang palayo from the how do you say this, the danger.
Yeah.
Alright, so I'm just saying it as that.
What if kasi yung Fiddlesticks yung na-knock up?
Wala don't anymore.
Yeah, that's the thing. Danger. It's so squishy. Tapos i-prepare up mo pa sa Graves.
Yes, but I'm just saying this as a situational thing that you can do with the fear.
Yeah, you could.
But the power of the Fiddlesticks, in my opinion, is that if you're able to use the maximum bounces of your Dark Wind, like yung crows, that's a lot of damage onto the Graves and the Alistar. And granted na Caitlyn is in a safe spot, he has a bigger range against the Graves here.
The Graves, yeah.
And yung buckshot is not going to be able to at least reach the Caitlyn when she's on full range. Anyway, there's a lot of harass potential coming in from UPC, but then CPU can be able, or rather, nagkamali lang tayo dito sa ating stream. Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, our stream is...
Yeah, anyway,
okay,
you were saying earlier
Alright, so sorry about that, guys.
Fiddlesticks.
Fiddlesticks na lang. They're gonna be able to at least harass a little bit the Graves and the Alistar for quite some time, but I'm not yet sure kung anong gagawin dito ng
UPC,
ng Puso, because they can opt for a lane swap.
They can actually, hindi pa naman na-lock in yung last champion, so it could probably be a jungle Fiddlesticks.
Possibly,
and
but
they already have the Nautilus, so it could be a Nautilus support for the Caitlyn.
Nautilus support, yeah, not too bad too, because they would have the lockdown to be able to complement that. But looking in with a jungle Fizz.
Fizz?
Oh, sorry.
Fiddlesticks.
Fiddlesticks. Why do I keep saying Fizz?
I don't know.
F. They're both letter F, so you can give me that one.
Okay.
All right, so Fiddlesticks. Thinking, I haven't seen a jungle Fiddlesticks, pero yung power niya kasi is that once he's able to get the Zonius and Crowstorm in, that actually is, in my opinion, like a equalizer-ish type of skill na parang when you see it coming in, bigla na kayo magdi-disperse, and with that Zonius, you can't do anything to counter out that Crowstorm. But before the Zonius is there, they know that they lock that in, knowing that Alistar is there, and Alistar can headbutt away a Fiddlesticks. Yeah. So we have to see what UPC or Puso has in mind with this. Pupusuan ba nila nito with the Fiddlesticks?
Wow.
Honestly, I think I would like to see a jungle Nautilus, knowing that kasi he provides so much more pressure early on rather than the Fiddlesticks. And Fiddlesticks in the support role isn't so bad that you can actually, use that fear and the Dark Wind to spam your opponents out of their lane.
Yeah. Well, I'm just really worried kasi sobrang lambot ng
that's true.
ng Fiddlesticks, and knowing na they have the burst type na kasama nila, ay kalaban nila, it's really hard to counter that.
Yes, that's true.
If it's a Fiddlestick support.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens here. We are just having some technical difficulties. I think I forgot what did they get
what to say?
No. Did they get the Graves and the Twisted Fate again?
No, they did not.
They were hovering over it a while ago, right? But they just took the Graves.
Meron na, ang ganda kasi din ginagawa ng Riot na parang medyo na-attach na tayo sa characters natin.
Yes,
diba?
That is true.
And ikaw ba, if you were to choose the next highlight location in Runeterra, ano pipiliin mo?
Shadow Isles.
Wow!
For sure.
Bakit? Sino ba yung gusto trip mo doon?
Mordekaiser. Of course. Grabe.
Why did I even ask Shinbu?
Ano kasi,
alam ko na yan.
I was actually kinda, medyo bangag na ako hapon from like, hindi. From being puyat.
Okay,
and
gotcha.
Naisip lang na I kinda missed reading yung, did you know that Red Mercy is doing the Did You Know series? Yung mga Did You Know About This Champion? And I rewatched it. Yung video niya about Mordekaiser, which actually was made 3 years ago pa.
Oh, nostalgia.
Nostalgia, diba? And he actually said that Mordekaiser has some kind of like connection with Hecarim. Granted, all of the Shadow Isles champions are connected, pero they had like this other connection. And then, I forgot, sabi lang they had this connection pero they didn't delve into the story. He didn't delve into the story too much. But, doon sa Twisted Tree Line, yung map of the Shadow Isles, the right side shrine, parang they talk about Mordekaiser being their general. It says, "I will follow you, Mordekaiser. Give us the order." Parang something like that.
Wow.
So that means that Mordekaiser is parang a general in the Shadow Isles, diba?
Wow, that's so cool. How about Hecarim? Diba he's leading? He's like
I think he's like a command. Yeah, I think he's like a commander, like a general, and then sabi from general, you're like the strategist, diba, for your army, and then you have the commander, which is the Hecarim. Charges in forward with that Once of the Shadows. Yeah, that's so cool.
Sobra. And right now, though, speaking of Mordekaiser, having a pet dragon is pretty cool.
Yeah, I think everybody wants to have a pet dragon.
Really? Okay, I assume
guys,
yes.
Who is not interested or haven't in their whole childhood not think of having a pet dragon? You're gonna be able to ride yourself to any place that you want. You can have a barbecue without even using a stove or a grill.
Yeah.
And you have something to make your enemies fear you. You have a fire-breathing dragon or even an ice-breathing dragon.
You cannot forget about people who want to be dragon slayers.
Oh. So
yeah,
actually, pumunta na yung isip ko doon, but I've watched Fairy Tail recently, so parang isip ko, Nats the Dragneel, Gagil. Don't you watch Fairy Tail?
I'm so sorry, I don't.
That's so sad. But yeah, I got your Skyrim reference. Actually, I've played Skyrim for like a whole month when I was at my
Did you finish it?
You can't finish Skyrim.
You can't finish Skyrim because of the mods, yeah.
Not actually the mods. Ang dami niyang side quests. Actually,
yeah, but assuming na you're just yung naglalaro ka lang ng
yung main content lang.
The
yung main content. Hindi ko pa natatapos siya.
Me too.
With 1 month of playing it, I haven't still finished it.
Yeah.
And I was playing like 10 hours a day.
Wow.
Yeah, seriously.
Impressive. Now, let's get back into the game right now. CPU, UPC. And, ayan, we will see if it's really gonna be the support Fiddlesticks or the
mid lane Vladimir. Sorry about that.
Yeah, mid lane Vladimir. That's what they are gonna do. So yeah, I guess it's a flexi pick na naman. Are they not gonna swap it? I wonder though.
I don't think that they will, but surprisingly enough, Puso Gaming doesn't have a teleport. I don't know if that's gonna be like they're gonna change it or something, but they don't have a teleport right now.
Yeah, they're probably talking. And naalala ko dito, pag nagcha-champ select, no? Minsan, di ba last roll mo, ganito,
yes.
AD carry. It's really my fault. Like a noob mistake. Nagta-type na pala sila, uy, support, ba't ka naka-heal? Uy, change mo yan. Tapos pagkatingin ko, oh my god, I'm so sorry. Should have been exhaust or ignite. Mga ganon, yeah. Yung mga newbie mistakes that happens. Nakakalimutan.
Nakapaglaro ko ba ng League of Legends nung I think the ADRs were actually going ignite and then the supports were going heal?
Hindi ko yata naabutan yun.
Yeah. Kailan ba yun, Shinbu? I think it was season 2 or 3 na the ADRs would go ignite flash, and then yung supports nila heal flash. 3, no?
Ayun.
3, yeah.
Last minute, nag-switch sila ng teleport. So yeah, you're right. It is a support fiddlesticks and aggression is in the jungle.
Yeah, so tama nga. Aggression wants to be aggressive early on with the support, with the Nautilus, and he's not gonna be able to do that when he goes for support. I keep saying support for a jungle fiddlesticks because fiddlesticks has like if you rate it 1 to 10 in terms of ganking, fiddlesticks in my opinion would like 4 out of 10. When a Nautilus would have like an 8 out of 10 or 9 out of 10.
Yeah, better. No?
Yeah, because he has the devastating blow to root someone in, and every single lane in UPC's or rather Puso's side have lockdown. Like, I'm not saying for the bottom side they have the fear. That's a form of lockdown, as well as yung Yordle Snaptrap when you're able to put that person in just 1 second, delay nung sa devastating blow, and then follow up with that Snaptrap, lock them down, and then of course top lane, easy peasy lemon squeezy. That is the Twisted Advance for the Maokai.
Oh yeah, definitely
All
against the Shen.
Yes,
right
against the Shen. So for Victims of Love's composition here, I'm just thinking Vladimir is a Hemomancer, right? Hemo ba nga ba? Bloodmancer. Ay, hindi, may Hemo something eh.
Well,
yeah, kasi,
Hemo Plague.
Yeah, Hemo Plague. I don't know. It's
is it part of his lore or something?
Yeah, no, I think people just call him Hemomancer or Bloodmancer, something like that. Blood, Victims of Love. He's bleeding love.
Bleeding of keeps bleeding. Oh man, I did not see that coming. I have to fist bump.
Yeah, fist bump that one. All right, so looking at their composition, just a 3-man lineup or a 3-man tank lineup for CPU here, or rather Victims of Love, with the Alistar, of course, just having so much potential for his front line. You just activate that Unbreakable Will, and you're good to go. But looking in now to the summoner spells of the Alistar, Exhaust. We have been seeing Alistars throughout always go for Ignite. The reason why they did the Exhaust is that because they're afraid of the early game damage that a Fiddlesticks and Caitlyn have. Even so, with the Ahri at the mid game, because like in my opinion, Ahri has more damage than the Vladimir in terms of bursting.
Yeah,
Vladimir,
sustained damage.
Yeah, sustained damage in the early stages.
Yeah.
But when he gets his items, it's gonna hurt quite a bit.
Gets tanky, really hard to kill.
Yeah.
And speaking of burst, they don't have any bursty ones except for the Ahri, right?
That is true. But similar to what Victims of Love have, they don't have. Actually, they have the Graves
for the burst.
Yeah, and sustained damage for the Vladimir when he is not able to get his SS out. His Hemo Plague, yung parang explosion nun. But of course, when he just dishes out his skills, it's not gonna deal that much damage. What am I doing with my hands? All right, so
I don't know, man.
it's like explosion.
Explosion's supposed to be like this, not this.
What if you pop a balloon filled with water and you pop it from the diba pag ganun siya?
What if?
Yeah, I know. Even if you pop it upstairs, pag ganun pa rin yung bagsak niya, diba?
But it's not an explosion. Okay, fine. I'm not gonna argue anymore. Bad boy Asura. Anyway, I just
mind
like
games.
The mind games. I like to point out then na in terms of roaming, the Alistar, of course, superior.
Yes.
Than the Fiddlesticks. But meron akong naalalang game from PGS.
Yes.
I remembered it was Mineski that did this. Na parang support Fiddlesticks. Pagdating na ng level 6, umakit siyang top lane, nakatago lang sa brush. And siya yung parang nag-gank for the
I mean, having a Fiddlesticks support is situational, but with the Nautilus can be a potent combination. Yeah, shoutouts to you, GM Kairu. Combination in the top lane. Top lane. Hey!
Wait!
I played with this guy yesterday. Nilagan Tocino is here.
Oh yeah! Shoutouts to you guys.
I remember that food cast with you and Aika. Yung ano yung Tocino?
It was Nilagan Tocino, and then yung kalaban niya is soy sauce.
Yeah.
Like, It was a food party. It was like a buffet in the mid lane.
That is true. I played with this guy and he was actually playing a mid lane Victor. I think we won that match because I just wrecked with the GP in the top lane because, you know, GP, OP. Wow. I'm just kidding, But this guy's pretty good. And going for the Ahri against the Vladimir, I think the Vladimir was more of a reactive pick than the Ahri since like you're able to sustain her damage output and possibly outlane her in terms of like staying in the lane for as long as possible. And then when she tries to go all in, you can just sanguine pool and, you know, K. Parang, like I ate
an orange and
I
it
was K.
And I was K.
Yeah, but yung sa kanya naman, I transformed myself into a pool of blood and it was K. That's so much more longer.
So literal. Yeah. Anyway, you guys are watching last match of the LCL for tonight. This is week 9. And this is the match between CPU, Victims of Love, versus Puso. That's UPC.
Alright, mga madlang summoners! This is the last game for the blue team. That is Victims of Love in the top lane. It's going to be Pascal with the Shen in the jungle. It's going to be Chelsea with the Rek'Sai in the middle lane. It's going to be Juan or X-Juan, whatever you want to call it, for the Vladimir middle lane. And in the bottom lane duo, we have Neodroch with that Graves, and his support, Alistar, will be the Cute Rock. Wow.
Yeah. And for the red side, we have the top lane Maokai. That's Kubrick. In the jungle, we have the Nautilus Aggression. And for the mid lane, we have Nilagang Tocino for the Ahri. And for the bottom lane duo, meron tayong Unknown Fellow and Choi Wingham along with him. That's a Fiddlesticks.
I'm so hungry right now. I'm just kidding.
Nilagang, nalala ko, kalaban ng Nilagang Tocino, meron din silang Fizz. And then, nag-chum the water si Fizz. Kayo Nilagang Tocino, tapos sigaw, lunchtime. That was really fun. I remember that game kasi it was so memorable kasi first time ko mag-cast with Gigi Aika.
Yeah, I think that's the first time Gigi Aika's ever casted.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so achievement unlocked. Nicely done for you.
Yes, sirree.
Yeah. What do you think like Nilagang Tocino would taste like? I mean,
what?
You broil it in water, right? You boil it in water.
Don't ask me. Remember that day. I didn't know what Nilaga was or Tocino was.
But you know what?
Let's not connected. Yeah, I'm not gonna delve
into food casting.
Yeah.
All right. So we are in a pause time, so nothing much yet to talk about since well, wala pa silang masyadong items or items. In terms of the aggressive level 1 fights, I think I'd have to give it to Puso since they have the Maokai and the Nautilus in the front line.
Oh, yeah.
And they have much more lockdown than... Well, actually, both have good lockdowns, but in terms of like follow-up damage, I have to give it to Victims of Love here.
Yeah, I also like the level 1 of Victims of Love, actually.
Yeah. Even with that... Kasi pag nagkumpulan kayo sa jungle, the Fiddlesticks would shine with the Dark Wind. And 2 members of Victims of Love have ignites, and for for Puso pala, have 2 ignites, and Victims of Love don't have. So
yun nga, no?
Yeah, masusunog sila.
Yeah, and it's quite appropriate since may Vladimir silang katakat.
Yes, you're just gonna broil blood.
Boil blood.
Yeah.
Wow.
Blood boil.
Blood boil.
Yeah.
Shoutouts to Nunu.
If you're watching the stream.
Ayan, guys. So, what were we talking about earlier? Oh, yeah, yung Mordekaiser thing. Yeah, we're done with that.
Hey, Mordekaiser, all of his skills are from rock songs. Like, Mace of Spades is Ace of Spades. Creeping Death is, well, Creeping Death. Siphon,
I don't know what kind of fanboy are you talaga. Are you loyal to GP or Mordekaiser?
What? I love Mordekaiser, but siyempre, how do you say this?
You're panicking.
Ibang roles, ibang gusto. Gets? I play Mordekaiser solely on the mid lane. Actually, I play him the top lane too, but he's flexible with me. GP is sole top lane for me.
Sino yung love mo talaga sa top lane?
I have to give it to GP because I love Mordekaiser in the mid lane because almost all matchups, even if you don't do well, you can still farm up as fast as possible because all of Mordekaiser's skills, except for his ultimate, is AoE.
Oh, yeah.
And GP just excels in top lane because you're able to play around with the side brush, with the powder kegs as of now. And of course, for the jungle, I have to give it to Shyvana. Rek'Sai, we had our moments, but you just have to give her...
We had our moments. It felt like you broke up with Rek'Sai.
Yeah, because Rito just kept, you know, calling back to her.
Like, sino na unang nakipag-break?
You know, it was Rek'Sai kasi sabi niya, kinulangan na ako ng damage, hindi mo na ako nagugustuhan. You had a problem.
And then the knock-up nerf on the range. Actually, still power pick pa rin, but yeah, we need to
kasi when Rek'Sai actually came out, I kept building her first item, Sword of the Occult.
Wow.
Kasi ang taas sobrang ng AD ratios niya eh. And I'm able to get all the kills that I want early on. And ang bilis ko sobrang magkaroon AD ratio that every Queen's Wrath and Furious Bite, ang sakit na sobra agad. So, yeah, with that not being happening on the first nerf, I stopped using that and shifted to, I think, like a Hydra. Then nerf again, then I went to Triforce, and then nerf again, nag-tank build na lang ako.
Dami mong ginawa, no? Para to make it work.
Yeah. And it just didn't work out for me anymore because I play junglers. Yes, I want to go for tank junglers, but I still want them to be deal damage, and without any damage items, Rek'Sai doesn't deal as much damage as I would want her to.
Yeah.
Alright, so when all said and done, we are now starting our match. Look at the Dark Wind. Ilang pasahan lang just puts Alistar or rather Cute Rock and Neodroch to a decent amount of harass.
Yeah, gusto lang nila i-disrupt or see. Wala naman siguro nagsa-start na with the red side, or is there a situation na...
Red side start to fill it? No way.
No way. Yeah, no way.
I mean, your main tool for Fiddlesticks is the life drain, and that can only be used. Cooldown and mana regen can only be used harassing or rather spammingly when you have the blue buff. When you go for red buff, I don't know. Maybe you're trying to go for like a very early aggressive flash or rather gank, but.
Yeah, I keep forgetting Azurai. This is a support Fiddlestick. What am I saying with the Fiddlestick starting at the red buff?
Okay. I thought we were just talking like theoretically.
Casual talking.
Yeah.
My apologies, guys. Yeah, it's a support Fiddle. I should keep reminding myself.
Yes. Do people know that Fiddlesticks is a scarecrow? Like.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, I know. Like maybe nakakalimutan ng tao. What is a Fiddlesticks? Oh, he's a scarecrow.
Yeah, he is.
I don't. Do we have scarecrows in the Philippines?
No. Yeah, I think we do.
I think we do kasi meron tayong mga farms eh. Like may palay tayo. We have I think corn din as well. A lot of gulay. So that means that there are gulay.
The gulay.
Yeah, there's like a lot of.
Oh wow! Ang ganda ng charm na ginawa
ni
Nilagang Tocino in the mid lane.
Yeah.
Between.
And Juan is taking some really unnecessary damage there from Nilagang Tocino. He's just getting Nilaga right now. And look at the Quick Up taking so much damage.
Wow, look at that. Yan yung sinasabi natin. Napakalambot ng Fiddlesticks. That's actually a good spear just to counter everything out. But in terms of sustain, obviously, panalo dito sina Cute Rock because of the, what do you call this? The
Targon's Brace.
Yeah, the Targon's Brace in the E from Cute Rock.
Yes, well, I just forgot to talk about this. The Alistar has a stain compared to the Fiddlesticks, but going into the top lane, Kubrick is pretty low right now.
Wow, forced to use a flash. That is a pretty good gank coming in from Victims of Love.
Yes, and of course, we do know the aggressive Rek'Sai not even finishing his... Oh yeah, he actually finishes red. Never mind. After, when he gets up level 3, he's just so potent and going for the ganks. But oh my gosh, Unknown Fellow taking so much damage. But Neodroch does take damage off his own with the Dark Wind, with the Fear as well as that. Builds over Peacemaker coming in from Unknown Fellow.
Yeah, both bottom lane, sobrang aggressive. Well, they're supposed to play that way. Nagre-react na lang itong bottom lane ng UPC.
Yes. But look at this. With all of the harass coming in from Choi,
he actually anticipated the flash. Actually, Neodroch in line near the turret. Ignite will drop onto the Graves as well. Will it be the finisher? No, it does not. He's going home.
Alright. Nicely time gank there. And I kind of like this. Yung alam nila na may sustain yung Alistar in the bottom lane, Cute Rock. And what Puso here did is that pinasuan nila yung bottom lane. They kept harassing it, they kept opting for the trades, and nakita nila, nasa top lane si Chelsea, yung Rek'Sai. Immediately, aggression in the bottom lane, nandun agad sila, they had the advantage, and wala ng potions yung ADR and support ng CPU, Victims of Love, and well, they just forced a good clash out of it. And now, even though there is a 9 CS advantage for Neodrach, he will have to recall or risk the option of dying because he's one shot away. And Cute Rock has no more mana to spam out his Triumphant Roar.
So, or can prevent a tower dive from happening or tulak yung usual defensive play.
And with this, actually looking into yung gold ngayon ni Neodrach, if he recalls and gets back into lane with items, 935 gold. That means that he cannot buy a pickaxe. So most likely boots, Doran's blade, and potions. But when Unknown Fellow is able to finish off his wave right here, possibly pickaxe and then potion. So that means that the damage output will go into the favor of Unknown Fellow. Just going in a little bit into yung nangyari ngayon and what their itemizations can be after this, mini skirmish.
Mini skirmish that they had in the bottom
lane. Had in the bottom lane, yung benefits na makukuha nun ng Puso. And of course, with that, tutuloy pa rin ang pagiging aggressive. Of course, Choi, Wingnum did have to use his Flash and Ignite to try and get the kill onto Neodrach, which means that he is susceptible to a pulverized headbutt into the turret of Victims of Love. But of course, if you're just defensive, rather passive-aggressive, just putting out your Dark Wind is enough as a Fiddlesticks support. And of course, I think aggression would stay in his bottom side rather than his top side because, well, getting the gank for a Maokai is good, but getting in a gank for an Ahri or the Caitlyn is even better.
Yeah,
so
that's for sure, carries.
Be sure to look out for where this Nautilus will position himself.
Yeah, I kind of remembered Nautilus aggression is parang favorite pick niya tong Nautilus eh. Parang it's not the first time I've seen him play the Nautilus jungle. So baka one of his favorite picks itong Nautilus for himself.
Granted though, Nautilus isn't the best anymore for dives since yung kanyang Titan's Wrath, the shield, has been nerfed. Yung HP is not as beneficial as it was level 1.
And the Riptide damage has been nerfed.
Yeah, Riptide damage as well as yung slow, I think. Oh, no. Yung damage lang pala. Well, like I've said, so they're gonna be opting to get the kills before the opponent does get under turret. And they're able to do that because, well, Nautilus is a CC monster and everybody in end lane for...
CC monster. I'm sorry.
Sea monster.
Yeah, but
he's a submariner. I don't think that you can call... Or a Big Daddy, if you've played Bioshock.
No, I haven't played Bioshock.
Oh my gosh, that is like one of the best games of our generation.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I should, but...
What were you looking at me like when I told you Big Daddy? Parang, what are you talking about?
Of course, I'm so sorry.
No, but just going back into it, all lanes for Puso is complement to where Nautilus can gank. Fear for the Fiddlesticks, like I've said. The traps for the Caitlyn. In some cases, you can actually just like put a little bit of an advanced trap and then pag bumalik yung kalaban, they can get caught in it and then follow up just the damage. For the mid lane, it's the Charm. For the Ahri and the top lane, of course, the Twisted Advance and the Arcane Smash from that Maokai. Alright, so we do see here that aggression still in the bottom lane hasn't actually backed up just yet. Oh my god!
Oh my god! Almost! Bitin na lang ang damage. Meanwhile, you're in the top lane. Hindi pa rin siya nagbaback. Itong Neodrach natin. May mana pa. Dark Wind will go there!
Oh my god!
Kasalanan ng Alistar na pasa. Dahil yung cute ni Cute Rock.
Well,
oh my! Nag-dash na sana siya pero pumasa.
Victims of Love went in for a very, very high-risk, low-reward play there. Putting Neodrach to try and get the creeps. He should have backed off.
Oh, kanina.
The built-over Peacemaker hit. And then the Dark Wind was just bouncing off, and luckily enough, it bounced off the Alistar and bounced in to Neodrotch. Granted, he did try to dash over it like a boss with the surfboard, but of course, you're not going to be able to dodge any skills that's following already with the...
Wala nang flash tong si Kubrick. What are you doing? Pascal will able to kill the tree right there. Wow.
So, that's a good trade there. 1 kill for the top lane and then a kill for the support. And wow. Blasting one for Choi Wingham. So we're not gonna see any passive itemizations here for the Fiddlesticks. Just going in for full aggression.
Grabe, no? I mean, this is assuming they're just gonna be in the lane for a while. We're gonna stick with the harass. Ang labot ni Choi Wingham. Oh my god, the fear. Si Neodrotch doesn't exhaust. Guy Unknown Fellow as well. Sinusuntok-suntok lang si Cute Rock. And that is a trade won, obviously, by CPU.
Yeah, I would try to give it for CPU, though Cute Rock actually uses his exhaust to try and catch off Unknown Fellow, but the problem was he kinda mistimed his skills. He used the Pulverize Headbutt onto Choi Wingham. I think he should just put the the exhaust onto Choi Wingham because he was super low already.
Ay, oo, no.
But Choi Wingham actually uses his spear onto Neodrotch, and that just put 100 to 0 agad yung damage output na magagawa ng bottom lane duo because Cute Rock doesn't deal too much damage, and actually Choi can just life drain out of him and be K. Yeah. Yeah.
Pero as you can see, ito na nga yung sinasabi ko during track select, sobrang lambot ng support ng Fiddlesticks.
And look at this itemizations right now for the ADRs. Neodrotch with the Bam Scepter for the Graves, and then the pickaxe for the Graves. So there's a damage 97 for the Graves, and as for the Caitlyn, 108. So not too far away there, but still there is, of course, 10 damage is still significant in the early stages. That can be the decider for life and death between these players. The little things in life should not be overlooked.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was pretty
deep. I'm not gonna say intense. It doesn't.
It's not intense.
Yeah, it's not intense. It's just deep.
It's very wisdom-y.
Wisdom intensive or wisdom packed.
Okay. Well, we will see Chelsea actually lingering dito sa bot lane, but masyado pa malayo yung wave. They are gonna utilize the tunnel to knock off. Double tunnel dito. Yes. Patience is a virtue. Hindi warded, hindi makikita rather ng UPC ito. Na meron Rek'Sai waiting patiently dun sa bottom lane along with the Alistar. Yeah, near the flash to the right combo. Yan ang hinanap natin. Tinapos si Unknown Fellow. Papunta sa members of CPU. Isang tira ka na lang. That's a minion wave turret hit. You have no escape, Caitlyn. And that's Graves taking it.
Nicely timed gank there, or patient gank there, coming in from Victims of Love. They had a double knockup combo. They optimized it. They got the kill. And Neodrotch is now 10 CS ahead as well as 1 kill ahead of Unknown Fellow. So the disadvantage that they had, the slight disadvantage that they had against Puso, is now countered, and they might actually get themselves the dragon.
Yeah, good call. No ADR, and it's a free dragon for them. Nasa top pa itong si aggression. That's why. That's another factor.
I think he just finished his red buff, and well, pag nasa top lane ka na naman, or rather nasa top side ka na naman, why not try to get a gank on that top lane? Might be worth it. But let's see him actually get the gank into the mid lane.
Yeah, no gank.
Yeah,
so
look at the CS advantage of Juan. We saw there a while ago na hinahara siya ng sobra-sobra ng Vladimir Susino. But because we were talking about how powerful Vladimir Sustain is and how he can just out-sustain and kind of out-harass the Ahri as the mid-lane matchup extends, he has the CS advantage, and umalis pa siya na lane kasi hindi pa bumabalik ng lane si Nilagang Casino, which means that when Nilagang Casino goes back to get the items, malulugi siya.
Wow, look at that. Real like actually being dropped down. Na-ignite si Juan. Nahuli pa rin siya. Ganda ng kulang. Here comes the Crow Storm from Kamika. And that's Pascal destroyed Nautilus. Meanwhile, Pascal, I'm a ninja. I'm still gonna chase down this Fox. Nilangang Tocino in trouble. Does he have flash? Yes, he does. Pascal's still right there. Rubric with the follow-up there. Chelsea will knock him down. He'll get rooted back. But that's Pascal nearby. Cute Rock. Actually, ito na. The rest of the members of CPU, you are in trouble spree. And killing spree na. Itong Shen natin. Wow.
Yes. And that's the power of the roaming Alistar.
Grabe.
Alam niyo, nandun eh. He has the boots of ability. Timely lang yung pagka-recall niya. And then he was able to immediately respond for his teammates. Granted, baka mamatay doon si Juan, but he pulverized away yung, I think, the Fiddlesticks. Yeah, and just saved the life of Juan. And then Ari went a little bit too all in, but we were talking about how when Ari tries to go all in, he's not going to be able to kill the Vladimir that fast because of the Sandwich pool. And look, you see here, Cute Rock is just getting harassed out by aggression, but he's still surviving. There's a Dark Wind, there's the ace in the hole, but who will get the kill? It's going to be Nilagang Tocino, gonna be serving up that Alistar
that dance, man.
raw style.
Yeah, it's a party.
It's a party.
Yeah.
Ukulele.
There's no mundo. Yeah. Ang cute itong Nautilus. It's just like dancing there. Nakita ko kanina yung Gromp tinulak ng ano.
Yeah, ng Alistar.
Alistar. I don't know what he was doing there. Probably landing, siguro trying to put down
the pressure.
wards. And then pressure.
Yeah. And he was just trying to be a real jerk to that Nautilus. You know, Nautilus was just farming in his own jungle, not even counter jungling, and then Alistar, pulverize, headbutt away.
Headbutting the Gromp away.
Yeah.
I was about to finish that. And then,
dude!
Come on!
Come on, you didn't even steal it. Come on, dude.
Come on. And ayun.
Pinapirapan mo pa ako.
Yeah,
Reset pa yan.
Exactly,
And
man.
and now poor Aggression has to restart killing the Gromp again.
Well,
great job.
Well, he's probably not mad at all dahil nakakuha sila ng kill.
Yeah, that's true.
That. Yeah, they collapsed there.
That is true.
Pinakitaan pa tayo ng dance ni Choi Wingham.
Yes, and now looking into the itemizations, Sunfire Cape here coming out of Pascal. So, Sunfire Cape is actually opted to go in for the split push type of Shen.
Yes.
Since he can burn out those creeps really quickly. In terms of the team fights, it does give you a good amount of health as well as armor.
Yeah.
But it's not as beneficial as when you would go for a Random's Omen to be able to slow your opponents down and be able to hit them a little bit more.
Yes, look at the battle of the tanks at the top lane.
In terms of like being able to shadow dash and get the flame onto their opponents. Hey,
flame on.
Human Torch reference.
Yeah.
You're able to deal a bit of damage, but I think most likely Sunfire is more of the split pushing type of Shen. And as for the top lane, Maokai isn't finished. And oh wow, I just noticed this. 40 CS disadvantage. So poor Kubrick here is struggling to get his Righteous Glory to be able to initiate for his teammates. As for the mid lane, or the junglers, Cinderhulk, nothing out of the ordinary there. Mid lane is, of course, Duel of the Ancients for Vladimir because he is one of the few champions who actually
Vladimir.
who benefits from that Duel of the Ancients. It's Vladimir and Mordekaiser.
Actually, meron nga akong nabasang article regarding the changes sa AP items, and it's like they wanted to put the Wota onto the Cassiopeia.
Yeah, that is possible though, but there's so much more items that can be used by a Cassiopeia and be better than the Will of the Ancients.
Yeah, pero we rarely see na right now na Rubric, nakikipag-duel pa rin, landing a couple of damage. And ito na yung classic Fiddlesticks. Camping under the brush, hoping na mag-extend sila, then surprise! Fiddlesticks!
I remember when the Firegrass was still available and season 2 pa ata, when I was still trying to get all of my champions. Every single time. Wait, never mind about that.
Yeah,
Alright, back to what I was saying. Whenever I get my Deathfire Grasp, I just stay in one brush, and then DFG, actually no, SS first, DFG, Fear, and then Life Drain.
Life Drain.
Instant deletes. Tapos, and ano pa yun pa yung mga panahon pa na hindi nag-work ang kahit sino talaga sa normal game. Talaga, seryoso, ito pa yung part na pwede kang gumawa ng, you can buy 5 wards on one slot and then 5 wards and then nakaka-10 wards kasi isang jungle.
Wow, ang sakit! I think collateral damage, there it is! And that is a dead middle 6 for you. Rock taking damage from Unknown Fellow. Pero look, nakikipag-trade pa rin yung dalawang AD carry ng CPU and UPC.
Yes.
Meanwhile, push talaga itong Maokai. Laging umuwi because of the harass given by the Shen at the top.
Uwi ka na, galit na. Sabi ng Shen sa Maokai.
Wow, they're actually forcing the tower down. Victims of love.
Yes, just a thing to point out pala in the bottom lane. In the earlier stages of this game, Unknown Fellow and Choi Wingham had the advantage, but when the gank from Chelsea worked for them.
Oh, nakakukunin yung truck, and that's a Stand United deck charge. Punta ulit siya just for the thought and the contact onto the Casino, and that's a dead area right now. Meanwhile, this is moving the root ang Raze right there. It's a party right here in the bottom lane. Choi Wingham taking the front line. The Hemo Plague will explode. Rubik right now just wants to leave the battlefield. Double kill na ngayon ang ating Vladimir. And makakasalubog niya. That's gonna be a tower dive. Chelsea though, is he in trouble? Yes, he is. He actually tower dive, taking the turret aggro. But that's an ace in exchange for 2 members of CPU. Obviously, CPU comes up on top.
Alright, so before I go into the clash, back to what I was saying, Unknown Fellow and Choi Wingham had the advantage early on, but the gank from Chelsea turned the tide of the battle for them. And nagpas na yung advantage na meron ang isang Fiddlestick support and Caitlyn against a beefy bottom lane with the Graves and Alistar, and they are not able to trade efficiently or in their favor against these two duo bot lane coming in from Victims of Love. And that clash right there just went all into the favor of Victims of Love because they had the item advantage as well as the AoE advantage, in my opinion, because yung Vladimir, I think it's called Tides of Blood, was spamming out consistently that clash, and then his Hemo Plague hit, I think, 3 or 4 people.
Yeah, earlier. And ako talaga, I really don't like it na wala kang cycle. I really don't like it. If you drop boy, you are in trouble right now. That's 4 members rather of UPC. He's gonna get caught out. That's a dead cow for them.
Yeah, and it's the I think the weakness of having no earlier wards to be able to spot out where your opponents will be. Just an easy catch out when your opponent knows that you have no wards and they're jungle. Look at this. Buso are actually being pushed out by Victims of Love.
Yeah, that is natural. Walang teleport ng mga nakagamit pa lang. But that is Vladimir. Look at that. So bulky right in the front line. Tangoy foot. Ternaton. Itong Ari natin dito. That's a rampaging Graves right now. They get 2 kills. They also get Dragon.
Yes. That was a sloppy positioning there coming in from Unknown Fellow. Iniwanan na lang siya bigla ni Choi Wingham.
Yeah.
And then he was trying to actually just gonna control them. He was actually trying to just go through here, and there was 3 people from Victims of Love that were saying, pare, hindi ka Evelyn, nakikita ka namin, hindi ka Twitch.
Yeah.
Nasarap pa ka namin. Siyempre, pakinggan namin doon.
Yung effort namin, ikaw nasarap. And not to mention, napakalambot mo. And right now, yung binil niya talaga, full on, Abyssal Scepter, Sork Shoes. Yeah.
Yes.
It's up to the Nautilus and Maokai to protect the Caitlyn here with a fear. Fear na lang ang aking may bibigay sa aking support lang sa Dark Wind just to try and feel.
Yes.
You know, try to defend the ADC.
Yes, and looking into the itemizations
from
Victims of Love, look at the Rek'Sai, Aegis of the Legion. Ilagan Tocino is not on his power point because, he wasn't able, he opted to go in for the MR rather than the, I think Luden's Echo would be the second build or the first build item for it, Ari, to be able to at least get more damage out of it. But he's opting to go in for the Abyssal Scepter, meaning that Aegis of the Legion will work in the terms na counter niya yung magic resistant, magic penetration, as well as well, yun na lang. And then the itemizations of Nilagang Tocino, he's not gonna be able to get more damage if he would have had the Luden's Echo.
Yeah.
As for the ADRs, only the Infinity Edge for Unknown Fellow, but actually, medyo magkaparehasan sila ng items, though there is the Berserker Greaves and Avarice Blade, meaning that Miyadrat here is able to get more auto attacks. More auto attacks compared to Unknown Fellow, and he has the chance of critting even more because of that Avarice Blade.
Yes, that is true. And parang nag-roam ba si Alistar natin?
Yes.
Diba nag-roam?
Yes.
Parang I would really prefer having more defensive build dito sa Fiddlesticks, kasi I don't like it na there's no vision control, and then you have a very mobile and everybody can just pop out of nowhere.
Yes. I don't know lang. I think the reason why din kasi they're trying to do this is because 4 members of victim, or rather Puso, are magic damage. The Maokai, Vengeful Maelstrom, Saplings, and Arcane Smash. And Nilagang Tocino is not able to finish his second item. That is the Abyssal Scepter, which would have actually given him magic penetration and ability power. He only has the Negatron Cloak, meaning his damage output is not there. So they're risking the loss of vision to being able to come back in the clashes with that Abyssal Scepter onto Choi Wiggum. But the problem is, Abyssal Scepter doesn't have a huge AoE radius on the magic penetration. So what this means is that he really has to be up close and personal, but he is easily bursted down by Victims of Love. Though if he's able to be ignored in a good amount of time in the clash, they can maximize this form of optimal buying. But if they're not able to at least get a good counter kills against Victims of Love, they're gonna be behind even more, because like you said, they don't have vision to counter your aggressive
to try and
warding.
react to how Victims of Love has been playing. Although inisip ko din, parang what's the point? I mean, there's a point in warding, pero if in a global scale, kumbaga ang threat dito is the cute rock, the roaming.
Yes.
Pero in terms of vision, won't work against something global like Pascal with the Shen, Jelsi with the Rek'Sai.
I think vision would still be possible against Jelsi, since like the tunnels can be countered out with vision. You can with the vision you can see the tunnels, then step on them and just counter it out. But you're true about that with the one with Pascal. But now the problem for UPC is that they're looking for fights, but Victims of Love can opt not to go in for the fights, and Pascal can actually win the clash, or rather the 1v1 against Kubrick, having the Vorpal Blade, having the Sunfire Cape and the Spirit Visage, and Kubrick can't actually deal with that. Probably he can when he gets the Vengeful Maelstrom, but when that goes on cooldown, he has nothing to go against Pascal here, and Victims of Love can just, torture Puso even more, because Puso right now is begging to get a fight and possibly win the fight, and Victims of Love might not go for that, might not risk it. They can play a little bit more safer. They have the gold advantage that is 7,000 in their pockets against Puso right now. So we have to see what transpires in the following minutes, because if Puso don't do anything short of a miracle, or rather short of a miracle, like, why am I saying that? Biglang lumabas na kasi parang it's kind of like in a situation, but short of a good play right now, CPU will will run away with an advantage as this game progresses. So we'll see what happens. But they have the pick-off potential with the Ari. It's just that there's such a huge lead, as well as Ari not gonna be able to focus a lot, or rather any of the champions of Victims of Love, because True Grit on the Graves, Abyssal Scepter, and Sanguine Pool on the Vladimir.
Yeah, Solari even.
Yeah, Solari for the Rek'Sai. Spirit Visage for the Shen, and Unbreakable Will for the Alistar.
And not to mention, first pa naman itong the Graves with the items that he's having right now. He's in a good spot, 4-1-3 pa. And umaasa sila dito sa, you have to make the items of the Fiddlesticks count. Because they sacrificed a lot just to make this work.
Yeah.
Seriously, early game.
And if it doesn't work, it might as well just be GC here. Though, of course, I'm just saying this theoretically, hypothetically.
Okay.
Look at that poke though. So still there is damage flowing out of Puso here.
Yeah.
Not just blood, but damage as well.
Yeah. And right now, we will see here, Alistar roaming up top. Ano kaya ang pwede nang gawin? Because right now, they're doing the 2-1-1, 2-1-2 rather. Kasi kasama na pala ni Graves itong Rek'Sai. Applying pressure in all the lanes. Wow! Knowing na no one can one-on-one. Kahit sino dito. Talo kasi Maokai and Shen. And then dito Vladimir. Meanwhile, Vladimir Nautilus actually, and the pulverize super low na siya. He will play big drop down aggression. Juan is unstoppable. Makasalubong niya ang Fiddlesticks right now. Unknown fellow in the bad spot. Gets exhausted. Na-fear siya right now. Nakasuot ng party hat. It's a party. Unstoppable na ngayon na rin ang Graves. Rock is ignited and running for his life. Nag-dive pa rin itong Vladimir natin. Dominating all the members of CPU right now.
Yeah. I can see, you could say right now that the weakness of some of the members of Victims of Love here is AD damage, but the problem is Caitlyn wasn't able to ramp up, and her auto attack in the clashes is not as much because she just goes down really fast.
Yes.
So I think if you like look into the in-game stats later on, we're gonna see Caitlyn not doing so well in like damage dealt champions. I think we might see that even Shen might have higher than that. Yes. Granted though that Caitlyn has 4 out of 5 in the kill participation. In the 5 only kills that Puso have here. So she's been in the clashes, but not as effective as they would want her to be.
That is true. Oh, red flag misses. They're knocking on the base of right now. Righteous Guard being activated. Find down aggression, and they're landing on some hurt onto it. Sinulang unknown fellow, and right now Joy Wingham is starting the party onto the mid lane. Nandun sa gitna. Willing to do anything godlike na ngayon si Vladimir, and that is 2 members down for UPC. They're doing the tower dive. Daunted 2 members of UPC. Q-Drop has slain aggression. Tinulak UPC to safety. All the flashes in the world just to eliminate the tree. And that is right now godlike CPU trying to finish this game up.
Yeah, medyo nasilaw ako sa dami ng flashes din. Alright, so with this, Victims of Love can get themselves that mid lane inhibitor. Possibly, I think they will. And I don't know, even though some of them are pretty low, Puso can't counter engage, rather re-engage onto the members just because there's so much damage output coming out of from the Wazoo.
Wazoo?
Yeah, coming out the Wazoo. It's like from Victims of Love here. You look at that, yung fear pala. Yeah, yung fear pala ng party Fiddlesticks has a party hat.
Yeah, that's why I like it. It's so cute. Oh, look at that. The all-ins are real on the one. He's actually being dropped. And right now, he's trying to sustain himself. Look at the fear. And that'll be a shutdown kill for the king.
Yeah, he just took his time in the mid lane, not respecting the 5v1 situation. Though that was just a slight mistake there. There is still 14,000 gold aid coming out of the Victims of Love. So biktima sila ng pag-ibig, pero hindi sila biktima ng pera sa San Maris Rift.
Real. Yeah, that is true right right now. And actually, so many options for CPU to take the Baron if they wanted to right now.
Yes. As for UPC, I think they have to reevaluate their compositions for now. It's just because this kind of composition tends to fall off, or rather fall behind really hard against this type of bruiser composition that Victims of Love have built themselves.
Yeah.
The Baron is now on the sides of Victims of Love here. If they can get it, Baron Buff will allow them to push the top lane turret faster, because it's the only top lane that is alive. And mid lane is, how do you say this, open for Victims of Love. So this means, and pala, the itemizations of UPC is not enough to be able to wave clear, and they don't have the best wave clear with only the Ahri and the Caitlyn. So if they try to contest like pushes from super minions, mahirapan sila, and then immediately Victims of Love can push towers like in the blink of an eye because of the damage from that Graves.
Yeah, tingnan mo, sinusolan na actually ni Juan, holding down the minions of CPU. Right now though, we will see Fiddlestick. That is a tree planted from behind. Juan gets feared, gets all the CCs in the world. You know what, one man, that is like Suicide Vladimir. He doesn't have flash. Stand United will the shield flash. There's everything. Naton yung AD carry ng UPC. Right now, the Troy Storm being activated. Ang tagal ng team fight. Muntik na mamatay si Troy Wingham, but he is still alive. Unstoppable na ngayon. Ang Caitlyn, that's aggression though. Along with Pascal, malapit na mamatay si Brookrick. And that'll be double kill. Prey Seeker will manage to find Troy Wingham. And that'll be a kill. That's 3 members down. Habang sa CPU, isa lang ang namatay sa kanila.
15,000 gold lead now for Victims of Love. I think they want to finish off this game, but they're gonna do it a little bit by the book with that Baron. Speaking of Baron, if you guys are, you know, sanay na kayo sa Baron ngayon, of course, huwag niyong kalimutan ang dating itsura ni Baron. Medyo pandak pa siya nun.
I actually don't remember the old Baron anymore.
What?
Parang
mas ano siya, medyo chubby siya. Ngayon yung sexy si Baron.
Yeah, sexy Baron. Pero grabe no, before parang yung new summoners nip, like it's like, wow, bagong summoners trip. Parang di ako sanay. Oh my god. And ngayon, I actually remember what the old summoner trip looks like, but the details, like the Baron guys, sinabi mo, parang
Naabutan mo ba yung Summoner's Rift na Season 1 pa?
No, I started, man.
The vintage look is nice. I think parang for nostalgic purposes, magkaroon ng event na binabalik dito or something.
Wow, look at that! 3-man knock up everywhere. Unknown fellow, you are a dead fellow. Right now, Chelsea goes super low at the moment. Cube Rock trying to see the front line ng Pascal. Ang tanky mo, that's a shed. Right now, Troy Wingham. Ang sakit na po-flash siya, pero that whole Kubrick is the only one left alive.
Oh my gosh,
Pascal almost died as well. And this will be the game for Victims of Love.
Wow, Unknown Fellow didn't even have the chance to do anything in that clash. Hinampas pa siya sa mukha ni Cute Rock as a final
send-off.
A final send-off, thank you.
Sapa. And that'll be it. Ang sakit ng criticals. Actually went for the static shield. Sobrang sakit.
Static Dancer.
Static Dancer. The Phantom shield right now. 29 minutes into the game. Congratulations. UPC, Victims of Love, for taking this.
Yes. And now it's just gonna be the final stand. X-Men movie for these, for Puso. They're gonna be able to get that Nexus 29 minutes into the game. Good game, well played for
Victims of Love.
So, they're victims of love, but they're not victims of LOL.
Yeah. Nice one.
Yes. So I just have to give it to Victims of Love. They were a little bit behind, or not actually behind. Just looked like the bottom lane was gonna work for Puso, but then that immediate gank coming in from Chelsea just went in, gave the snowball, in my opinion, to to Neodrotch.
Yeah,
There you go.
Neodrotch.
And just, nawala na talaga yung parang pressure na meron ang Fiddlesticks Caitlyn kasi nga napaka-beefy ng bottom lane duo nila. And then top lane, na-bully out si Kubrick against Pascal and it just went so well. And then in the mid lane, hindi nila kailangang i-gank they didn't need a gank for Juan because Juan was doing so well against Niragan Tocino. Can actually go back to the graph. Just wanted to see if yung damage output ni the Caitlyn.
Yeah,
look at that. She actually was the highest, but not high enough. She got bursted really fast as well.
Talaga.
Yeah.
And when you're behind like that. Anyway, though, good game for both teams.
Oops, sorry.
Yes, for Victims of Love and Puso.
Yeah. So guys, alam ko na bitter tayo dyan, but Victims of Love did win. So, yeah. Actually, tama. Victims of Love. So, mga bitter dyan, yeah! Alright, guys. So, that was Game 4 in our 4 games of the LoL Collegiate League 2015 Summer Term Group Stage Week 9.
Yes, sirree. But before we go away, we'll have some shoutouts right here na linista ni GS Shinbu with
that is a Shinbu with a 1 for an eye.
Yeah, and from people, would you like to do the honors? Shinbu.
Okay, congratulations dun sa victory dito ng Victims of Love, tama ba?
Yes.
Okay, mad props para sa inyo. Shoutout list mula sa Asubo, ISY Ying, Insanity Gaming. Shoutouts to Sir Kajo. Maraming salamat po for giving us that Shoutcasting Fundamental 101. Kay Dan, kay Jemical, kay Kwai, kay Justin Rodrigo, kay Masman, at sa nililigawan niya daw, na yung nililigawan niya, hindi niya alam. Astig, gano'n na kayo ng ligawan.
Hindi niya alam?
Hindi, yung nililigawan niya, di niya alam na nililigawan pala siya nito ni Masman. Okay? Kay Purple Panda. So baka hindi niya rin alam na sila na. Ganun. So Purple Panda, kay Silver Dog, kay Kirito Kun, kay Meow Meow, happy birthday Silver Dog. Ayan. Kay Patrick Star, kay Lolax, kay Dixine, and the rest na mga nakasama ko sa Azubu. Of course, this is a special message to Shamir. Happy Mansari baby. I'm sorry if sometimes I seem to disregard your concerns for me, but I want to tell you that it means a lot and you are the world to me. You are amazing and I love you. From Park daw yan. Okay? So, ayan, that concludes my shoutout list. Okay? Back to you guys!
Ang cute naman.
Yeah, that is cute.
Ang sweet ng last shoutout ni Shinbu.
Yeah. Makes me wonder if I would have that someday.
So,
I'm just kidding. But guys, also shout outs to you YouTubers, Azubu people, and Twitch people. I think Aika is gonna shout out.
Yes, shout outs, Gigi Aika.
Okay, there you go.
Okay. Hi guys. Okay.
Are you sick or something?
Kind of.
Okay.
Anyway, so shout out to the people in Azubu. I'm sorry if I'm quiet. I'm sick. Anyway, and sino pa ba? Trisha Bear, Gab, Ario, Schwartz-Sex, Blanksy, or La Blanks. Sino pa? Si Neko na nagpapa-shoutout kay Riku. Berserk na may pinag-uusapan about live.
Okay.
Anyway,
okay.
My Azumo babies, I'm sorry kung masyadong mabigat yung convos. Joke lang. Anyway.
Akala ko makanta tayo ng kukuno matata sa chat ng Azubu.
Oo nga pero nag-stop ka mag-chat. Si Blanksy nga siya.
Okay.
And shout out to Ateneo people if you're watching. I hope I am channeling my inner Atenista right now. Anyway.
Ooh.
Yeah, LCL.
Okay. Well, in the terms of alma maters, shout outs to you, Mike Escolarian, Central Escolar University, Makati City. As for you, Riku.
Yeah, shout out. Aside from the Rifters there, who's always watching the streams, I'd like to shout out din sa GS Rico Fans Club. Thank you so much. Ang ganda na sobrang medyo active yung group na yon.
Yeah.
And paminsan nakakita ko ng mga hugot-hugot.
Yeah. Kasi nga, di ba? Sabi ko nga, hugot worthy si GS Rico. Yes naman! All right.
So yeah, thank you guys for watching the LCL.
All right, guys. So that's about all the time that we have. Again, thank you to our viewers because without you guys, we are just talking into the camera.
Yes.
I am Bad Boy Asarai with an I, and of course, alongside here with me is
Seatmate Riku.
And this has been the Local Collegiate League 2015 Summer Term Group Stage Week 9, and we are signing off. Goodbye, guys.
Woo! Bye-bye.
Want more from your prepaid promo? Introducing the new Smart Prepaid Only Call and Text 30 Plus. The best daily Only Call and Text offer, now loaded with more surfing than ever. Para more viewing, more sharing, and more searching. Only 30 pesos. Dial *121# now. Internet for all my fun.
Guys, may 300 MB tayo. Daming pang Facebook at Instagram.
Email and videos. Stock up on data with Smart Big Bytes from the country's most advanced network. May apps and sites up to 300 MB. 50 pesos lang for 3 days.
Hey guys!
May free YouTube pa and more. That's a lot of bytes of internet for all. Text Big 50 to 9999. Smart. Live more.